Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Mary Murray Shelton. I am the community spiritual leader here. Delighted to welcome you this morning. I see some new faces. I see some familiar faces. I was going to say old faces, but we won't go with that. Familiar faces. And we are delighted that you're here with us today. Now, there are several things to be aware of today. One is that it's Juneteenth, which celebrates the freeing of the slaves in the United States. So there are celebrations in various communities taking place today to celebrate Juneteenth. And also, as you probably know, is Father's Day. So we first want to acknowledge the dads. And I think, Jim, I'm going to ask you to turn the lights out here completely for just a minute. Completely. The lights out there, turn them out completely. We'll see if this works. Now, if you are somebody's, hello, there they go. If you're somebody's dad, would you please stand? I was hoping you guys would glow in the dark, but it isn't dark enough. Yeah, you've got there. Now, if you've got it on your wrist, wave it up in the air. If you've got it around your neck, then just wave your neck around. And we want to acknowledge all the dads. So if you're a dad, please stand. Yay! And if you are a granddad, please remain standing. All right, for granddads. Yes. Anybody a great-granddad? If you're a great-granddad, remain standing. Woo, Jerry! Woo! I think it's just you, hon. Congratulations. Well done. And for those of you who are at home watching us this morning, thank you, dads, for everything that you've done. And by the way, if you're a stepdad, a foster dad, an adoptive dad, a big brother, and you didn't stand up before, give me a wave. Okay, stand up, you guys. And then, if you're a mom who has been in the position of a dad, stand up. All right, yay! Congratulations, all of you. Thank you all very much for everything that you've done to bring the generations forward for us. So as we begin this morning, we're going to take a moment, first of all, for everybody to say hello. The lights can go back on now. And what I would like you to do is to stand up, move around, and introduce yourselves to people you haven't met before, greet the ones you know, and just make each other welcome. So go ahead and take a few minutes to do that. And you all at home, give yourselves a hug. We're so glad that you're with us this morning. And we would love to have you come and join us in person right here at Golden Gate. All right. Okay. Come on back. So we have as our special music this morning Laura Berman. Laura has been with us before online, and so although she's at a distance, she's happy to be here, and she's going to lead us in our opening song. So I invite you to stand up. The words will be right there on the screen, so you'll be able to see and kind of get used to it because it repeats. All right? So here we go. We can't hear her.
You remotely, one day in person. Let's sing together. This is I am open. I am open. I am open to receive the love in you and me. I am open. but for each other. You are open. You are open. You are open. You are open to receive the love in you and me. You are open. You are open. You are open to receive love in you and me. Now, we are open. Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
We are open. We are open. Yeah. We are open to receive the love in you and me. We are open. We are, yeah. We are open. We are open to receive love in you and me. The love in you. Love in you and me. Love in you and me. Love in you and me. We are open to the love in you and me.
Nicely done. Thank you. You may be seated. And I want to invite you to go ahead and silence your cell phone right now. You don't have to turn it off, but just silence it so it'll vibrate rather than ring, because we don't want it to disturb at the wrong moment, you know? So do that, and then just prepare to move within with this music, this centering music, and then our opening prayer will be by prayer practitioner Rachel DePaula.
God is all there is. God is all there is. It is known by many names, faces, experiences, and it is all there is. It is everything that has ever been. It is everything that will ever be. It is timeless and limitless. And it bursts forth, expressing itself as this beautiful planet, each and every one here in this room and on this beautiful planet, and each and every one on every other planet, in the beautiful synchronous symmetry of the cycle of solar systems and seasons and life and transition. And it is the mystery. It is the beauty of the mystery. It continues to create and create and create by means of its own volition. its own creative process. And it is the connective tissue that connects all as one life, one spirit. So I know that each and every one present here today is God expressed, is spirit walking around on the earth as a human, having human experiences, and in that human experience, always the truth being that we are each perfect, whole, complete. And so I speak my word today for this community and for each and every one present, knowing that Spirit is here in this very place, and that each person here is here by divine appointment, open to receive whatever is needed in their lives right now. And I claim and accept and know alignment with that truth and that knowledge and that openness and the joy and the celebrity of living in the mystery of Spirit and having the faith and knowledge to know everything is okay, and it always will be, because God is all there is. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this knowing. I'm grateful for this community, for Reverend Mary, and for our musician and everyone that helped bring this gathering together, and for every person here today. So grateful for this connection and for this family. And so I release my word, my powerful word, into the divine law of consciousness that can do nothing but say yes, yes, yes. And that is what it does right now. And so it is.
Thank you, Rachel.
I'm coming out of this long night's journey into the day, and I'm not afraid anymore to look in the mirror, wipe all the tears off of my face, and sadness fades. I'm ready to be who I came here to be. I'm ready to be everything that I am, everything that I am. Oh, everything that I am. Too many years I spent putting square pegs in circular holes, and I didn't know myself. But why would I come here? Why? To live a life stuck in a mold, be bought and sold. I am ready to be who I came here to be. Well, I am ready to be everything that I am, everything that I There's no greater feeling than loving myself, body and soul, and the pain, it just goes away. Yeah, I am out in a new world as a creation, perfect, perfect and whole, in loving flow. Well, I am ready to be, yes I am, who I came here to be. God, I am ready. I'm ready to be everything that I am, everything that I am ready to be who I came here, who I came here to be. I am ready to be everything that I am, everything that I am. I am the I am. I am ready to be who I came here to be, who you made me to be. I am the I am. I am ready to be everything I came here to be.
Mhm. You know, one of the things that I was thinking about as she was singing just now, because we've been looking at and thinking about what does it mean to be abundant? How do we reveal our abundance? And it occurred to me just now as she was singing that until we give ourselves our uniqueness, our gifts, our abilities, our talents, our learning, until we fully are giving those things in the world, we're blocking actually our own abundance, because the world needs that. We were created to bring those things to the world now. And until we give them out, we haven't opened up that space of receptivity to allow the greater good that is actually ours to find us and come in. So I thought that was really interesting that just popped into my head all of a sudden, that we are here to be a gift, and it may just be to smile at somebody else in the elevator. It might be to have a kind word for someone, to take an extra moment with somebody that we meet, because we don't know but what the whole world turns on that moment. And we need to be there for that moment. So as much as we can be awake and present in our lives, the more we can be available to be who we came here to be, and therefore to give that gift to the world and open up to all the gifts the world has for us. Now, it is Father's Day, and so dads do get relied upon very often to do the grunt work around home, the heavy lifting, any heavy work, any work on the car. Now, I know that this is a little stereotypical, but generally it falls to dads to do this kind of stuff. So this is a story that I enjoyed finding. When our old cat Taffy died, this woman says, Dad buried her under a tree in the backyard. A few nights later, Mom went into the garden during the night to shush our dog, Bruiser, and she saw that Bruiser had dug Taffy up and even gnawed on one of her legs. So Mom woke Dad and told him what had happened. And so he went out in his PJs and army boots with a shovel over his shoulder and redug the hole. But since it was quite late, Dad decided not to use the towel he'd originally wrapped Taffy in, and he chucked it aside and just reburied the cat and went back to bed. Next morning, when she went out to water, Mom discovered that in his sleepy state, Dad had actually chucked the cat aside and buried the towel. I thought that would get more of a laugh. I love the idea of, poor Dad being out there like half awake in the middle of the night, trying to dig this hole again to bury the poor cat, and just finally being so confused, he just buried something and went back to bed. I love that. So that's me. We are this year living from the heart of wonder. There's a lot of things to wonder about in the world out there. Amazing, beautiful, incredible things, and horrible, terrible things. There are lots of things to wonder about. Where did that come from? How did that work? Why is that the way it is? Anybody ever have any of those questions? Or like in her song, Laura Berman sings, "Why would I come here to be stuck in a rut? Why would I come to this life to just struggle? There's more to life than that." So we are looking this month at revealing our abundant life. Now, who are we revealing it to? We're basically revealing it to ourselves. Because as we do that revealing, we become more aware of the good that's ours. And then we can savor it, we can appreciate it, and we can pass it on. So my thesis for today is that embracing the good increases our prosperity. Now, over the last couple weeks, I've talked about how easy it is to take for granted the things in our lives that we once looked upon as terrific blessings, but we're so used to them now that we don't really notice them that way anymore. Can you relate to that? Yeah. So there's lots of things we get very familiar with, Maybe you loved your house or your job when you first started, but it's so familiar now you don't think about it really anymore. You're just living there, or you just go and do that thing. And it's still just as fabulous as it ever was. It's just that you're used to it. You're used to seeing it. I would sometimes stick colored Post-it notes with affirmations in various places, just, to remind me. But after a while, I don't see them anymore, because that little colored Post-it note now is built into my sense of what's on that wall or in that room or on that door. You know what I mean? So I lose track of that. And what we want to be able to do is come back to really taking the time to notice what good has been given to us that's already around us. Because as we begin to appreciate that again, even in a small degree, we expand to more. And the more we receive graciously, the more we have to give from, the more abundantly we're living, the more fully we're feeling fulfilled and satisfied in our lives. So, the first thing we want to do is embracing the good by remembering what has shown up for us in our lives, and then savoring it again. So if you were grateful for it once, if you were thrilled by it once, if you were delighted at the experience or the thing or the person, remember that. And then savor that memory, that feeling. Really taste it and welcome it back into your experience. Welcome it back into your awareness. Purvi Raniga, who's a meditation teacher, says, say yes to your internal joy, to self-love, to your internal strength, happiness, and abundance. Each of these qualities will multiply every time you say yes. Think of that. Every time you say yes. So as we're welcoming and allowing and saying yes to, we're reminding ourselves that yes, we have been taken care of. Yes, we have received good. And every one of us has. Yes, I can appreciate the good that I have in my life or the good that I've received. I can welcome new good that's showing up in my life. I can allow. And that becomes very important as we go through our lives. When we're really young, we think we're immortal and we can do anything. And we're kind of sort of right a lot of the time about that. As we go through our lives, we discover there are things we get better and better at. There are also things we get not so good at over the period of time. And we can feel like we're losing something when that comes up. But what we want to do actually is allow what's coming, what's trying to happen in our lives, to allow ourselves to expand and move forward into that. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what it's like when you feel something wanting to happen in your life, but you're a little nervous about it? You're not quite sure you want to go forward into it. You think it might be too big of a risk. Maybe you're not ready. You don't know how to do it. Any of that kind of stuff? Yes? Okay. Jodi Picoult, who writes a lot of wonderful novels dealing with real crisis points in people's lives and in their decision-making process. She said, in the space between yes and no, there's a lifetime. It's the difference between the path you walk and the one you leave behind. When Robert Frost said two paths diverged in a yellow wood, you have to choose. You know, Yogi Berra said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. The esoteric wisdom of that sometimes escapes me, but the idea is that you're allowing something new to lead you onward. You know, if you come to a fork in the road and you take the path you always know, you know you're going to be safe, you know where you're going to land, you know what your destination is. If you take the unfamiliar path, you're going to pay a lot more attention because you might have to find your way back on that path. So what we find is that there's actually a study, and probably more than one, that's been done about how optimism affects us in the world and in our lives. That we actually increase our experience of good when we're optimistic rather than pessimistic. So there's a story that I've told a lot in the past about these parents who had identical twin daughters, but their daughters seemed to be very different from each other in terms of their personalities. And so they took the girls to a psychologist just to see if they were projecting this. They said, well, one is really an optimist and the other one is really a pessimist, we think. I mean, that's what it seems like to us. And so the psychologist was fascinated and decided to do an experiment with these two girls. So he took one twin to a room full of toys and told her that she could play with anything she wanted in the room for as long as she wanted, all afternoon, and then went away and left her there. And when he came back about an hour later, she was sitting over in the corner looking really dejected. And he said, what's the matter? Why aren't you playing with all these wonderful toys? And she said, well, I don't know which one to start with. And besides that, these are all just going to break anyway. So the other twin, they took and they put in a barn where there was a lot of horse poop. And they left her in there for a while. And when the psychologist came back, she was grinning, and with a shovel, she was throwing shovelfuls of poop around and looking and exploring all over the barn. And he said, well, are you having a good time? She said, yeah, I am. He said, now, can you tell me why you're so happy in this barn full of poop? And she said, well, I figure with all this poop in here, there's got to be a pony somewhere. So he went back to the parents and said, you know, you're right. You've got one that's an optimist and one that's a pessimist. Now, one of the things about that is that we can miss the good that's around us by projecting something onto it. But the more we cultivate a hope for ponies, the more we look for the good and praise it even in advance, because we know that where there's pony poop, there must be a pony, right? The more likely we are to be happy people, because the process of engaging in that anticipation brings us joy and enthusiasm. So one of the best ways to do this is to develop an intentional practice of looking for signs of God's blessing and God's goodness and gifts to us in our lives. It's always easier, in the spring than any other time of the year. And when we do that, it increases our experience of prosperity. So the way that it does that is that, first of all, it expands our capacity to receive. One of my instructors in the School of Ministry said that her affirmation was, "I lovingly expand to include." So her intention was to move out the edges of her comfort zone in terms of allowing good into her life. I know that there was a time in my life when I was first getting introduced to science of mind and personal growth. And I belonged to the Washington Athletic Club in Seattle, not because I'm an athlete, but because at that time I was married to a man who had bad knees and needed to exercise them and got a prescription for the health club. And so we joined the Washington Athletic Club, and it was very shishi. It was very posh. Now, I grew up in less than posh conditions. And so whenever I went to this place, I felt like I didn't really belong there. Like this was for other people, not for me. Anybody have that feeling in your life ever? And so because I was learning about this stuff at the time, my intention was to go and just like sit in the lobby and read or do something where I got used to being there, where I got familiar with the locker room and the showers and all the things that were available, so that I could begin to feel like this is my place. I belong here as much as anybody. And over time, that's what happens, because we become accustomed to our situation or our place. We may have a particular set of things that we believe about life, and then we move someplace else where everybody around us has a different perspective. And we may not agree with them. But the longer we live there, the more the consciousness of that place and that community tends to become ours. I have a brother-in-law who grew up as kind of an open-minded thinker, meditator, all of that, and moved to Iowa because Maharishi was starting a community in Fairfield, Iowa. So moved there to be part of a movement of people who were there to make the world a more peaceful, better place through their practice of meditation, to increase the population's general awareness of that. And so they worked on that for quite a while. But what I've noticed over this period of time is that two of those people that we knew are now very, very, very much more Iowa consciousness type folks. And I just mean, more conservative, more conservative than they had been previously in their lives. It was not necessarily their intention, but I think the location and the consciousness they've been immersed in for decades had something to do with that. So in a way, they may have brought a more peaceful awareness to Fairfield, but they also took something from Fairfield, because we can't be immune to the places that we live. I had a really good friend who had a sister that grew up in Seattle, went to Catholic schools, went to Australia to teach, married an Australian, and settled there. When she comes back to the United States, I cannot understand her. Her Australian accent is so thick, I can understand her husband more than I can understand her. She grew up in the same town I grew up in, with the same accent, not anymore. So we adapt to where we are. So when we expand our capacity to receive, we are opening ourselves to a different plane of life and consciousness that at first may feel uncomfortable because it's so unfamiliar to us. As we move our comfort zone outward, we include more, and then we have to develop a way to become comfortable with it. But the process also awakens our awareness of good, the greater good that we're letting in that we thought wasn't ours or we didn't deserve now becomes something that's just part of the ebb and flow of our life, and we start to get familiar with it. Greg Anderson wrote in the 22 Laws of Wellness, what is the worst spiritual habit? The one that causes disappointment, conflict, lack, disease of every kind. The absolute worst habit is ingratitude, the lack of thankfulness and appreciation, our poor return for the blessings and kindness received. You see, if someone wants to give us something, whether it's help or a compliment or a gift, when we're not immediately responsive and grateful and welcoming to that, we're essentially rejecting the person too, who is offering us the help or the compliment or the gift. Now, you may not feel you deserve the compliment, so here's what you do. You say, thank you, how delightful of you to share that with me. And then shut up. Don't say, oh, no, not me. And really, you should be thanking so-and-so. You know, you might want to include somebody else, but don't throw the compliment back in their face, right? And we can all get better at that. How many of you, when somebody offers you help, says, no, I got this, it's fine, thanks, I don't need any help? Anybody do that? Raise your hands if you do that. Yeah. And a lot of us women do that too. But all of us, how many of you in here do not need anyone's help? Not a single hand. And you out there at home too, show me. Okay, I'm seeing no hands. Very good. So we all need help. And sometimes the way that we help someone else is by allowing them to help us. So think about that. The next time somebody offers to help, it may be that the gift really is in your allowing the help to be given. That is also part of our giving and receiving. So think about it that way and see what shifts. Also, the important thing to know is that our attention is fertilizer. It helps things grow and develop and sprout and become more. So when we pay attention to a person or a plant, there's a responsiveness, because attention is a gift that allows something to grow and to flourish. And that's not only true of what we give outwardly, it's also true of what we give to ourselves or what we allow ourselves to receive. My mom didn't want anybody to notice her. She was very shy. She was very timid. I'm sure I was a great trial to her because I was always talking to people. I was always too loud. I was always asking questions. I was always sort of embarrassing her. And the 1 year that she came to visit me as a minister, my son was 6. He'd been living with his dad. And they came down together, my mother, so his grandma, and my 6-year-old son for Christmas. And my mother was terrified of flying. My son was not afraid of anything, which is both good and bad when you're 6 years old. So the two of them came together. And my mother, after the Sunday morning service, was standing in the social hall with all these people kind of back in the corner. And I had asked my board president to kind of look out for her. And so Marla was over there talking to my mom. And just randomly, my mother said to her, I'm not like her, meaning me. I'm not like her. I don't want people to notice me. Yeah, not so for her daughter. So I had a hard time appreciating my mother's way of seeing the world. And I know that she struggled appreciating mine. And so what would have worked better, maybe if she were alive now I could try and practice this, what would have worked better is for me to appreciate everything that worked for her in that way in her life, rather than what I thought she was missing out on. And also, maybe for my mom to feel more comfortable with the way that I was, which sometimes happened, but not always. So one of the things we can do for ourselves is to do an experiment, to do an intentional experiment. So here's what I'd like to invite you to try during this week. I gave you a little booklet this morning that says Steps to Receiving on it. And this little booklet was something that we gave out at the Vancouver Center for Spiritual Living when Reverend Dr. Kathy Ann came to do a workshop for us there about receiving. And so on the front side of it, there are 7 steps to receiving. The last one is repeat. So the first one is know what you'd like. The second one is stay open by practicing receptive states. So if you open it up to the inside, you'll see receptive states on the left. And then number 3 is accept compliments, gifts, feedback. Anybody resist feedback? I do. I do resist feedback, even though I know it's good to get feedback so you know kind of where you are. So part of receiving is allowing that too, and then chewing on it. Recognize and count your blessings. Okay, we could do that. Be spiritually authentic. Don't be something that you're not. So we're not trying to be all holy all the time for an hour while we're talking to people on Sunday morning after the service. And then we go out and yell at the kids and kick the dog and smack our spouse. And, then we're not spiritually authentic. Release your inhibitions about receiving. Someone this week is going to give you something. They're going to give you a gift. They're going to give you a compliment. They're going to offer to treat you to something. They're going to give you feedback. Something is going to come your way. I would like you to set it up in your mind right now to anchor it so that when that happens, you know this is what Reverend Mary was talking about, and you welcome it. Just, even if you have to say, thank you so much, with gritted teeth, just receive it. Allow yourself to repeat that often. And you'll see on the other side of the inside are active states that sometimes can take your attention away from the awareness of your good. So just when you're active, be aware of the opportunities to be receptive. And on the back of this is a little receiving prayer. So I want to invite you in this next month to keep this little thing handy with you. And once a day to say this little prayer. So remember, number 1 is know what you'd like. This little prayer says, God is the principle of love and cares for all things, including me. I seek, or therefore the good I seek, somebody to do my slideshow, is mine to receive from the universal giver. I am open and receptive today to all manner of blessings, especially the person who's going to be creating my slideshows for me. God is gracious, I am grateful, and so it is. So you can fill in whatever it is that you are ready to accept and receive in your life. And then there's more to it than that. Because Markham Hyde wrote in an article about exactly how to train your brain to be more optimistic according to science, he said, imagining positive future outcomes actually activates the parts of the brain linked with positive emotion and stress reduction. Let me say that again. Imagining positive future outcomes actually activates parts of the brain linked with positive emotion and stress reduction. So envisioning a happier future can also help people disengage from or look past bad things that are happening in the present. This is what research is suggesting. And he goes on by saying, start by focusing on the far future and think of the best possible outcomes for your social life, your life at home, and your career. Sit down, give yourself 20 minutes, and write in detail about these happy outcomes. What your life would look like, what goals you would have met, how you'd feel about yourself, and so on. And after this initial exercise, spend 5 minutes, just 5, each day, imagining that you have achieved everything you wrote down. So you don't have to reread it again once you've written it all down. But when you sit down, go back in your mind to that positive future you envisioned when you were writing it out, and go to your work, your home, your relationships, and feel your way into that future. How would that feel? What would you be doing? How would you look? How would your face relax? And just feel into that for 5 minutes, just 5 minutes each day. Do that for 1 month. Do that for 1 month. Use that so that you can begin to invite that future to come and find you. You're opening the door to it now, and you're opening the door to who you will become in claiming that future. You will become a person who experiences that kind of future, whatever that may mean in terms of your own growth. So be prepared, because stuff will start to shift as you do this. Raymond Charles Barker, one of the early religious science ministers, wrote in a book called The Death of Evil, to receive the divine inheritance planned for you from the foundation of the world, you must die to something, or something in you must die. This whole spiritual concept has nothing to do with physical death, he says. It is a death in the mind of that which has outlived its usefulness. We no longer cling to that old story about ourselves. And Ernest Holmes said, expectancy speeds progress. Therefore, live in a continual state of expectancy. No matter how much good you're experiencing today, expect greater good tomorrow. So be aware that he does not say, he doesn't use the word expectation. He uses the word expectancy. I like that because to me, the difference is that it talks about an atmosphere of awareness and being. Expectancy means that I'm open and I'm looking for the good. Expectation means I have it nailed down into a particular thing I want it to look like, or feel like, or show up like. So the difference is, instead of nailing down just one thing, like it's got to be this person. That's the person I want. Never mind that that person is already married or already in a relationship or doesn't like me at all. I want that one. No, that's expectation, and it's probably going to be disappointing. Expectancy is, I am open to my perfect partner. I trust the universe to know what that is and to help me be the person who attracts that perfect partner. So there's a difference. I'm not saying I have to have that, God. I'm saying, help me become the person who attracts that ideal that I imagine and want for myself. And as you envision what you would feel like and what that would be like, try not to nail it down to a particular thing, but allow yourself to feel it, to feel into it. So as you envision it, you might think, this or something better. This or something better. I now welcome this or something better into my life. Because as we do that, more good comes to us. So let's take a moment to go within now and to claim the good. Right here, in this moment, I am invited into the awareness of the divine all around me. Right here in this moment, there is nothing here but God, including right here where I am. In this room, there is nothing but God. I know that everything that infinite intelligence, that boundless love is right here. All of the presence, all of the awareness, all of the beingness, all of the allness of that divine mystery is right here, and right here, and right here, and right here within. Because that's true, then I know that I am capable of opening to all the good I can hold, to all the good I can receive, to all the good I can share and distribute. There is nothing outside of my own consciousness that can keep that away from me. And so I claim what I came here to be. And I claim the greater capacity to allow all of that good to come in and to nourish me and to enliven me and to allow me to flow it forth into the world with even greater abundance and joy and gratitude and delight. And I know that this is true not only of me, but of all of the names of God in this room. Every one of us. One. This truth is true everywhere, always, or it is not true at all. And because I have seen it and felt it, I know that this is the truth. So I release everything unlike it. I let it all go into its native nothingness, all my false beliefs, all my past experiences of poor me, I let it all go. And I open to all of what I am here to be. I claim this now for myself and for everyone here who aligns with that. And I release this word in its fullness into that presence, into the creative law, into the divine heart of God, where it has always been the complete truth of all that is. I let it go. And if you also choose to claim this for yourself, then join me as we say, and so it is. Yes, and so it is. So I want to invite you to stand and join me for the morning's affirmation now. And this is our way of going deeper and taking something with us for the day. So join me. It isn't necessary for me to earn my good. Good things are my birthright. I fully embrace, let in, and receive all the good that comes to me. In this way, even more good and prosperity comes to me. Today, I lovingly expand my capacity to receive, and so it is. You may be seated. As we lovingly expand our capacity to receive, what we're doing is we're expressing gratitude to the universe for that receiving. And it seeds more good everywhere, because one of the things that happens is that when we allow ourselves to receive more good, we then have more to flow out to the universe, and also the vibration of our willingness to receive affects people around us so that they too might dare to be open to receive more. So I want to invite the ushers to come forward as we prepare for the offering, and I want to tell you a little story. We, during this month of June, now this is the third Sunday, that we have been focused on our abundance, letting our abundance be revealed, right? Revealing our abundant life. That's what the theme of June has been. So we have done this as a congregation week by week, and you might have thought about it sometimes during the week, that we've been talking about different ideas about abundance and prosperity. So it may have crossed your mind. You may have even, taken it within for prayer. Here's something interesting that happened for Golden Gate this week. We received an anonymous donation of $56,000 $56,000. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Now, perhaps the money would have shown up anyway, but I'll tell you what, it's interesting the timing that as we together were opening to reveal our abundance, this shows up for Golden Gate. So I want you to know that whether it's a well-timed coincidence, because the universe is tricky that way, it doesn't matter. Like, bring it on. Hallelujah. Thank you. Please continue. You know, and we want to see that goodness in our own lives and have that opportunity to pass it on. Every once in a while, we get a donation. Somebody needs to make a distribution from their investments or something. That's wonderful, and we're grateful, and those are surprises. And this was like a big surprise, yeah? So be open to surprises. We want to reveal more abundance in everyone. And, of course, for Golden Gate, but for everyone, because then we're not just giving here, we're exuding good all over the place everywhere we go. Whether we buy somebody's coffee, you know, in the line behind us at Starbucks or wherever we are, you know, all that kind of good. So, if you would like to text your offering this morning, the number is 415-779-7613. You can see it on the slide. And you just go to that number and put in the dollar amount. And also, we want to be extremely grateful for all that we've received this week and all that we've given, which is connected to what we've received. So we want to bless all the offerings right now. The ones being given in this room, the ones that have been given this week, and everything we have given out in the world. So let's say this together. This gift hold it near your heart if you're giving it today. This gift I give is God in action. I now send it forth to bless and to prosper. I know that everywhere it goes, it is creating a world living in love, one heart and one thought at a time. And so it is. Please go ahead.
Just when I take a step outside, the rain, it catches me with no warning. Right before liftoff, what was once light and airy can't catch my breath. Poor sweet canary, for the weight on my body. Oh, break me, take me, climb inside. Bring me to a new divide, and I will grow to know a better me. And this time I will lift off and fly high. I will lift off and fly high. Just when I take a step outside, all around I see the empty spaces. No matter how many times on this flight I can barely get the height. Now I wanna soar with clean traces. Break me, take me, climb inside. Bring me to a new divide, and I will grow to know a better me, a better me. This time I will lift off and fly high. I will lift off and fly in my hair. There's a quiet line between me and the air, and I like it here, yeah, I like it here. Ooh, oh, I like it here. Oh, break me, take me, climb inside. Bring me to a new divide. Oh, break me, take me, climb inside. Bring me to a new divide, and I will grow to know a better me, yeah, a better me. And this time I will lift off. This time I'm lifting off. Lift off and fly. I will lift off and fly high. Ooh, I will fly. I will fly high.
So together, we all of us are grateful for everything that we're receiving. And we send this offering out into the world with the intention that everywhere that it goes, whether we're paying a bill or giving a tithe, or whatever we're doing, that everywhere it goes, it takes with it an energy of blessing, an energy of opening to receive better. And so it is. All right, if you are with us for the very first time this morning, first of all, I want to say, please join us for snacks and coffee and whatnot over here after the service. We may, I don't know, I think we have snacks. We'll see. Do we have snacks, Paula? We do have snacks? Do we? We have snacks. Okay, make sure you come over and enjoy them. We have snacks, yes. We have snacks and coffee and tea and all that good stuff. Plus, you'll get to say hello and meet some people. So please plan to stay and do that. Also, if you're here for the first time, we would love to give you a little gift. So if you go back to the back table where Amanda is standing up back there, she's showing the welcome packet. And inside the welcome packet, there's a blue card that I'm going to invite you to fill out and turn in back there. When you turn it in, we give you a little booklet, a little book. And the little book is filled with positive affirmations to assist you in creating a receptive space for your good. It'll fit in your pocket or in a purse or, easy to carry around with you. That's our thanks to you for being here today and our invitation to you to be back and come and be here often with us. We'd love to have you do that. I want to also thank everybody that made everything go this morning so that it worked. The sound, the prayer team, the live streaming, the altar by the Frost family. By the way, you have to come up and see this altar from the Frost family. It's got a fencing mask, it's got fishing poles, it has pictures of their dads, it has flowers and a medical bag from Karen's dad. It has records up here because Randy's dad worked for Capitol Records at one time. So there are records up there. There are straight edge razors. Don't take them from a grandparent. So these are all kind of family heirloom things. Please come up and take a look. They're just fabulous. Don't touch, just look. All right? So let's give everybody a hand and thank them for being here, especially for the altar. Yes. Next Sunday is our family picnic and play day in the park out here. We're going to invite you to, after the service, we can just walk out there if you want to, but if you're coming and you haven't been at the service, you're going to park on Pixley, which is, if you go down to the next entrance, rather than this one. If you go down to the next entrance, turn right on Pixley, there's a parking lot down there. Park down there. The restrooms are down there, and we'll be under the trees there. That's where the picnic is going to be. Sign up on the back table for what you're going to bring to share. And then come in your picnic clothes, bring your Frisbees, bring your croquet sets, and we'll play, and we'll have a great time. So please join us next week. All the info is in your bulletin this morning about what Golden Gate is providing, and so you'll have a better idea of what you might want to bring. If you're not a member of Golden Gate and you'd like to be, or if you are a member but you just like to have another sense about what this place is really all about, try the membership class. Now, you're not required to become a member just because you've taken the class. It's 3 Sundays in a row for 2 hours with me on Zoom, maybe with some other leaders from our congregation, and it will introduce you to how Golden Gate works and a little bit about the nuts and bolts, how we live the philosophy here. So I'd love to have you do that. You can sign up back there on that table. There's a sign-up sheet. Also, I don't know that we have the sign-up sheet for Quick Start out yet, but Quick Start is an intro to our philosophy. So the membership class is an intro to Golden Gate. The Quick Start class is kind of an intro to our philosophy. It's just a couple hours, a workshop, interactive and fun, with one of our prayer practitioners, Marilyn Letzos. That is coming up in August on the 14th from 12:30 to 2:30. This time it will be on Zoom, but there are handouts you're going to need. So we want you to register so we know how many we have, because Marilyn doesn't need to do it if she doesn't have people, but we'd like to have a group for her, and we want you to have all the handouts in advance. So you can email our administrator at ggcsl.org and let Sonia know you want to be in the membership class, and she'll get you all set up for that. Our climate action tip for this week is wildlife-friendly gardening. Now, you may have heard that some of the bees are endangered. Now, this may not work for you if you have a cat that's outdoors, but butterflies, bees, things like that you'd like to support, or there are other kinds of wildlife. If you go to this website, it tells you some things about what kinds of things to plant that help feed and support wildlife. If you don't mind them being in your garden, why not make your garden lovely for them as well as for you? So that's a way to learn about that. And by the way, I'll just apologize to all of you that are worried about me giving out plastic glow sticks to the guys who are fathers, because they're plastic and they're not recyclable. So I expect you guys to keep them forever. They can't go in the trash because they're not recyclable. So enjoy them while they glow, and then I don't know what, but you'll figure something out, okay? But I'm sorry, it's easy to find roses for the moms. I'm always at a loss when I'm looking for stuff for the dads, and I want to find something kind of fun. So this year I went off on the plastic binge, so I apologize. We pray for my forgiveness. If you have an additional prayer request, you can put it in the box over here on the prayer table following the service, or you can also stop and request prayer from one of our 3 prayer practitioners on duty today. So I want to invite all the practitioners to surround the room now, and we are going to apply prayer generously. But please feel free to get a personalized prayer from our practitioners on duty. Now, everybody that is wearing a stole today, and all these folks that are standing up around us, are our licensed prayer practitioners who are here today. The 3 at the table are on duty, so they'll be available for you afterwards. But all of us right now are joining together to enfold you in prayer. So what I'm going to invite you to do now is to open your hands like this as you listen, because this lets your spirit know that you're ready to receive. So once again, we turn within knowing that everything the Father has is ours, that the infinite presence is right here in our hands at this moment. It's the chair we're sitting in, it's the clothes we're wearing, it's the snacks that are waiting for us, it's the physical body temple we reside in, it's the I am that we recognize ourselves to be. And we are open to allow that infinite presence to show us more of itself, to bring its gifts forward into our experience, into our awareness, into our gratitude, into our hearts. We welcome this good, and we release everything that no longer serves. We're so grateful to know this truth and to accept it now that we just let it be. We allow it. We let go and we let it be. And together we say, and so it is. Yes. Please stand and join me for the benediction and the closing song now, because we share our benediction by saying it together out loud. So, I now walk so that whoever walks beside me dwells in the presence of God, and whoever places a hand in mine is lifted, and whoever thinks of me is illumined with God consciousness, for spirit and all people and I are one eternally. And so it is. This is a song that we know by Donna Michael.
Sunday.
We've sung it a lot.
Sing out.
I am a light.
Light.
Sing it out.
I am a light. I am a light. I am a light in this world. I am a light. I am a light.
Yes, you
I
are.
am a light in this
Sing
world.
it like you mean it.
And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. And I shine, and I shine, and I shine so bright. You are a light. You are a light.
Look around.
You are
Sing to
a
people
light.
around you.
You are a light in this world.
Yes, you are.
You are a light. You are a light. You are a light in this world. And you shine, and you shine, and you shine so bright. Yes, you do. And you shine, and you shine.